What is up, DTube Steem blockchain? Today I read some Steem articles and I want to explore the idea of, in quotes, there's a floor bottom for Steem price. So I want to explore that idea a little bit and kind of tell you my view on it. So I've been a content creator a long time, especially on the internet, earning value fiat since 2011. And you sort of learn a lot about how stuff flows, how value flows. And okay, so this I've been seeing this lately, some articles sort of discussing this topic of that something that the price of, let's say, an altcoin, in this case Steem, that there is a floor bottom for something in terms of price. And I'm not a financial advisor, but let's explore this idea. So the way I look at this is, okay, so the argument is basically, well, there is one point a price can go down to a level where someone is going to buy up a lot. Like, the argument is, if something goes down a lot at one level, someone is just going to throw in $100,000, right? That is basically the whole idea, that someone is gonna throw in a lot of value at some specific floor level. So the thing is, when I really look at this, it's like, okay, so let's say something drops. Let's say it drops 99%. And I sort of think that many humans look at it then as, well, something drops 99%. If someone puts in $1,000, it's like free money, right? Because it must go up like, 20% or something like that. But what I sort of think that a lot of people are missing is something that goes down 99%. On top of that, it can go down another 99%. So I feel that in many ways people are sort of trying to catch bottoms. They're sort of trying to speculate, like there must be some kind of bottom here or something like that. But I try to look at, then I'm long-term bullish, of course, on Steem and this whole social media blockchain thing. But I sort of also realize like what a long-term game it is, and I look at the fundamentals, and then I look at, okay, so you need, how do you create demand? Well, there are two main things you need. You need like a lot of production of value, and you need some kind of advertising system so you sort of get revenue in. And both these two things at the moment, and you need an easy onboarding process. And right now on the Steem blockchain, it takes a long time to get an account. In terms of quality content, the trending page doesn't seem to be working that great to discovery, to find amazing value. And then what was the last thing? Oh yeah, you also need some kind of revenue system, so you sort of get value in all the time, so you don't rely on the market in terms of funds and stuff like that. And it seems as this is also an issue at the moment. And you also see in terms of user adoption at the moment, it's not really that many people using this stuff. So what we sort of see, if you just look at the fundamentals, is that most people in crypto right now, they are looking for a store of value and mainly speculation. It's not really that much users that are using this new technology. And as I said in earlier, like long term, I think this is the future, but I see it as well. It's going to take a long time, like 5 to 10 years, to sort of get better and better technology out. But I don't think really at the moment for anything here that there is really some kind of floor or bottom. Something can go down, like it doesn't have to stop to go down. Like just because something goes down a lot, that doesn't mean it's just gonna randomly go up again. Even though I do think we're gonna see these pumps, like massive pumps in altcoins, for example, because that's just how it happened in the past. And how we see altcoins sort of going is you get this massive pump, and then you get many years of sort of bear market. And main reason why the bear market sort of comes is because at the moment in crypto there's no real like user adoption. There's no real, like, in terms of millions of users, even like tens of thousands of users. Most of this technology does not have that. If you look at Blocktivity, and you can see that, I mean, compared to Facebook or anything else, I mean, it's not even close. So it's just that we have to look at the fundamentals. At the moment, when there's so little users, it doesn't really create scarcity, right? It just creates a lot of speculation. So I don't really think there is a bottom for anything in this space at the moment. And also, we also have this thing, okay, let's say something goes down massive, okay, and then the idea is, okay, a lot of people buy thousands of dollars and something goes up again. But what does say that that's gonna last? It's not really gonna be sustainable system where, okay, something goes down a lot and a lot of people buy it up. It's gonna be as I think they call it in terms of I think they call it a dead cat bounce, where it's like something goes down, and then some people buy, and they get a little bit of boost of dopamines, and then it just goes down again, right? Because there is nothing really to sustain that. So this is also why there's a lot of people right now doing this dollar cost averaging. So why would someone like throw in massive money like at one level when they could use dollar cost average? So let's say they have $1,000, right? Maybe they should just put in $1 like a day or something like that. It does seem to be the wisest strategy, because if we're creating abundance, it's not going to matter either way how many coins some people have, because if you do create an abundant system, then in the long term it's not going to matter how much coins some person have, because they can make some value, like make a video or something like that, and then they can get more coins, right? And then they can sort of look how they can store that value for the long term growth of systems. So as I said, I mean, a coin that goes to a penny, I mean, it can drop 50% the next day, right? Because if there is no revenue streams, if there is no massive users, if there is no massive incentive to stake, like there is some incentive to stake, but not like a super massive incentive, and not that much high quality production of what people desire and want, and not mobile apps that are like amazing, and not that much awareness. Like if you don't have these things, there is then you have to look at it as, okay, well, it's still in a very speculative state. And you also have this thing that, well, competitors obviously can come in, and so in this digital space, in this open source space, some competitor that might do all these other things, they can easily come in and make a better or a more value system. So there's always competitors, right, that can come in and sort of influence the market or the industry, so to say. So there's no project that really, like, they all have to like keep innovating, because in this space, something that was new last year may be old this year, right? So people that can create better or more value systems, they're gonna get the momentum run happening. So yeah, I don't believe there is a bottom for anything, to be honest. And even when people see something dropping massively, that also it doesn't increase, let's say, confidence in something. They sort of, I mean, the more something drops, like it's not in many ways it's not really. I mean, it can be a big opportunity, but in most cases, something that drops a lot in value, it drops a lot in value because it's not that valuable anymore. If you look at what people vote with their dollars, right? So it's a higher risk, something that is low, right? And that is the reason why it sort of is low, because not many people are willing, like, to get inside, right? So it's this very interesting thing. And even, let's say, if something like, let's say 100 people get like super wealthy or something like that, maybe they buy it 1 cent and then it's like 1,000x, right? Even if you get that, that doesn't really mean that it's not like a sustainable, it's not like sustainable, that sort of growth, right? So you're probably going to get massive dumps, and then you have to look at it. Okay, maybe it's best to just have a stable system that sort of grows slowly instead of trying to have this massive thing happening. So and the way I sort of looked at this in many ways is in many ways it sort of needs to move away from price. Like it shouldn't really be a thing. I mean, people should try to focus on just producing value, right? Steem blockchain is supposed to focus on the work, right? To produce better stuff that maybe other people will find engaging. And then the value system should just happen in the background. So that's what I wanted to talk a little bit about today. And if you really take a look at this space, I mean, even Bitcoin, it has 4 or I think 5 million wallets with just $100. I mean, that's not really, there's no one really using this stuff. So we see that the market at the moment, what it's saying is that people mainly now just looking for a store of value so they want to make money, right? So we see interesting stuff happening, but it's just that it's gonna take a longer time. It's gonna take a longer time because, and there's not gonna be like, as I said, I mean, even if someone makes a massive fortune, I mean, it's like, okay, great, but now you have to wait for everyone else to catch up, right? So is this very interesting thing with these industries that there's no easy money, right? All the easy money has already been taken off the table. It already has been taken off the table. So now it's mainly just about trying to slowly grind it out. And grind it out works. I've seen a lot of people that sort of doing their daily thing and it works. So that is kind of cool to see. And it's just that it's just that it's just that systems needs to really take a closer look at what is it that actually generates a lot of value for people. Like, how can you actually make stuff pump in real ways by creating real scarcity and creating real value and creating more buy-in. Basically, you need to look at how can you create more of this buy-in effect where people are sort of where they really want to stay loyal to some form of system, right? And the truth be told, like, making a lot of money, I mean, that's not for majority of people, it's not like super, like, there are other things that they value way more, like if you can have a really good community, or I mean, yeah, you really have to look at how you can really create value beyond just pump and dumps. And this is the research and development phase, basically. It is the slow grind, not romantic, daily work, you know. There is, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this space evolves. But yeah, I wouldn't say there is any floor in this space. People many times, I think, look at the old floor and sort of look at, oh, we can't go below that. Well, you can actually, because this is a new industry, everything is new, and everything's connected to a global world where anyone can come in and outcompete some system, right? And people have easier and easier way to sort of move their value around, move to other platforms, other systems, whatever. So that's kind of cool, or that's kind of interesting, right? So yeah, that's what I want to talk a little bit about today. The core point is there is no really guarantee that something will make money in the future, right? Yeah, I mean, for me, if I look at it, it seems like all the value is going to flow to one main store of value system, like the one that sort of is best. It's going to get the most confidence, and people are going to eventually flow their value to that place. And people have these theories that just because Bitcoin like pumped, like even if Bitcoin pumps again, that doesn't mean that all the other stuff is going to pump, because it might create a FOMO run where everyone is sort of going to Bitcoin or going to some other thing that is doing something, right? So it's very important to look at, are teams really doing stuff, or is the community really investing time, energy, resource into something? Do you have a revenue system? Do you have some exciting updates, or do you just have hard forks that are trying to leech more value? Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that goes into making an ecosystem work. And as I said, I mean, it's really early, and I'm long-term bullish, but it's like my vision is one token should be like massive value. Like it should feel like massive value, right? And people mainly still now look at everything like dollar and fiat terms, which is kind of strange. Like people should just focus, or you want to create this effect where people eventually just look at the token as, well, this token has more value. I don't even need to look at the fiat value, right? I don't really care about the fiat value. But most ecosystems at the moment, they haven't really earned their role in that. Because as I said, I mean, there's so much goes into making great blockchain systems. You need great developers, great teams that care, great software, great hardware, so much stuff that goes into these systems, right? And it's very nuanced. Yeah, that's what I want to talk a little bit about today. Something can drop more. Like, I don't believe in some bottom or anything like that, especially not in so new industries like this, right? Yeah, have a great day, DTube. Have an awesome day, Steem blockchain.